I hope everybody's okay this evening. Been one of them days, just haven't done a whole lot today. It's been a lazy day for me, you might say. Hadn't felt very well all day. Nothing serious, I don't think, but hopefully I'll feel better tomorrow and get some stuff done tomorrow. Um, that might happen. Um, See if I can get a ride to the auto parts store tomorrow and everything. That'd be cool. Lilu, baby. Lilu and her puppies are looking so cool. There's Lilu and her babies. All 8 of them. You're such a good girl, Lilu. Yeah, I know. You're camera shy. You're such a good mother dog. Yes, you are. You're such a good mama dog. Yeah. You got all them babies. Look at all them babies. She is the best mother dog. Well, I hope everybody's doing okay this evening. Me, I can't complain. Don't do no good. Nobody wants to hear it. Yeah. Oh, this is a little female. This one's a little girl. Yeah, this one's a little girl. She's so precious. She's so precious. Huh. Oh, precious little baby. Huh. Oh, so precious. I can't wait for them to open their eyes in another 8 or 9 days. Oh, so precious. Oh, goodness sakes. Well, I think I deserve a little toke today. How is everybody? Nobody feel like saying hi or making a comment? Let me know the comments work. I'm still waiting on someone to say hi so I know the comments are working. I don't have to start it over. But YouTube's been glitching. I started this once and then right before I went to go live, it just started everything over again. I had to retitle it and everything. And this morning, when I did my one at noon, it wouldn't let nobody comment. So after 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, I restarted it, and then I had comments. Yeah, this one may be the same way because it wouldn't even let me pull up my chat filter. Hey, Bill. I'm glad to know it's working. How you doing? How you doing? At least now I know my chat's working. What are you loving? Well, Bill, if you're new here, I'm 420 Jim. I'm a cannabis advocate. I've made news across the country. And I was off the road for a year. Now I'm headed back out for my last farewell tour after eye surgery. I appreciate everybody that subscribes. It don't cost anything to subscribe to my channel at all. It don't cost anything to subscribe to my channel. But see, I'm not the important thing. Let me show you the important thing. The important thing is what I do and the mobile billboard I created. See, nobody belongs in jail for weed, and you can go to that QR and sign it, or you can go to my name, 420 Jim. Yeah, look up 420 Jim or go to 420jim.com. This is my RV. It's called the Cannebago. And my mission, which has been that for 10 years now, but this is my last year that I'm going to try and convince people. You know, you can only lead people so long. If they don't want to listen, they don't want to listen. But nobody belongs in jail for weed. And that's what my petition's about. And if you think the same thing, go sign the petition, please. Also, the petition is to get our gun rights back under federal law, because they got to take it out of the narcotics list, because it's never been a narcotic. I mean, it's more of an herb. It's never really been a drug. Aspirin, caffeine, Tylenol, all that stuff that can kill you, those are drugs. Nobody's ever died from cannabis. Oh, you're not kidding when you say people don't believe. Just like the people that don't like our president, they should sign the petition, because the president says he'd do what the American people want. Well, the people that don't like Trump should call him out and sign that petition and see if he does this or not. If a person's not on the petition, they're not part of the solution. They're part of the problem. They're never going to change nothing unless we get together and demand change. And what better way than an online peaceful petition, you know? You find that at 420jim.com. Next week, if everything goes all right. Of course, right now, one of my Social Security checks hasn't posted, which is not right. It should have posted already. The one I get on the 3rd, so I got to see if there's some delay or something wrong with my Social Security. I won't be able to hit the road on the 5th like I want to. It may be delayed a little bit. Hopefully not. We'll see. I'll leave it all in the good Lord's hands. He takes care of me. People gonna believe what people gonna believe. People tell me how bad cannabis is, and I tell them just the opposite. And if they get their head out of their ass and go look in the Hebrew Bible, you know, the one written before the King James, they find out that cannabis, aka marijuana, was in the anointing oil. Yeah. When they find out the real truth, they freak out. And well, I think I appreciate that. It's always had unique paint jobs since 2014. I got 8 new members. I got 8 new members to my household. Do you want to go see Mama? Says, where's Mama? Where's Mama? Well, thank you. Yeah, I've got 8 puppies. They were born yesterday morning. Well, we have 8 puppies. Get right, Lilu. Yeah, let them see the puppies. She's a real good mama dog. Ever since 5 o'clock yesterday morning, she's been with them except 15 minutes total out of 2 days. She comes out, goes outside, uses the bathroom, comes in, eats, and goes back to her puppies. So it's cool. There's another one. Here's another one. Let's see. This one's a little boy. This one's a little boy. Huh. Say, I'm going to be a little boy. Oh, you're going to be a little boy. You're going to be a little boy. What's going to be a little boy? It's going to be a little boy. Whoa. Goodness sakes. Oh, yeah. I love my fur babies. Well, where's all my regulars tonight? I don't see nobody regular here yet. Of course, it's still early. Don't mind me. I like watching her and the pups. For those that don't follow me on Facebook, I'm easy to find. Type in my legal name, 420 Jim, FOURTWENTYJIM. You'll find me on Facebook. That's where I used to do all these lives, but now I moved them to YouTube because they're not saving them no more. And I think it's a good Lord's way of having me come over to YouTube. Still standing. There you go. That's a good song. Me today, I didn't feel like standing, sitting, or nothing. My legal name. My name on Facebook is my legal name. First name is 4, like the number. FOUR. True story. My middle name is 20, like the number. TWENTY. My last name used to be my first name until the judge changed it. So it's no longer my first name. My first name was changed to my last name. I told you my first name and my middle name. So you should be able to easily guess my last name, right? It used to be my first name. And here, you can see it on my driver's license. First name is 4. Middle name is 20. Last name is Jim. Time to get stoned, Jim. 420 Jim. I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. It took 3.5 years for Mark Zuckerberg over on Facebook to put my legal name on Facebook. I had to threaten them with a lawsuit. They kept trying to say that wasn't my legal name, and I sent them a court order. And then they act like they couldn't see the court order or nothing. Oh, you know, how you submit an ID to them, take a picture and all. Yeah. After about the 5th time, and them telling me that it was blurry or something, I told them, you got one more time, that's it. But I'm just going to sue you, and you'll know who I am. 15 minutes later, my name goes, boop. I'm like, that's better. And anybody can go to the petition at 420gym.com and sign the petition. I need to start seeing numbers go up on that petition, or I'm going to go ahead and close down the petition site, because it's costing me right at $23 a month. And if people aren't going to go and sign it, well, I'm going to shut her down. But people are signing it right now, so I don't mind paying for it. And when I get out on the street here next week, good Lord willing, people should be signing it every day. So cute. Well, it's not about being cute. Nobody belongs in jail for weed. I'm a mobile billboard fighting for others' rights. I appreciate that. Someone's got to do it. Otherwise, it would never get done. And we can't have change if we don't voice our opinions. And there's a good petition. Go read it, you know. And if you agree with the petition, sign it. Pass it along to a friend. Nobody belongs in jail for weed, my friend. Nobody. People are too crazy for change. They think if they sign a petition for marijuana, that you know, the SWAT team's going to beat down their doors at 3 o'clock in the morning and stuff just because they signed a petition, and that's not true. I hear people tell me petitions don't work, petitions don't work, petitions don't work, and I beg to differ. I know a gentleman that had life without parole. An actual life without parole in Sedalia, Missouri. 3 strikes, you're out. He got sent up life without parole. He had been there 20 years when I met his family back in 2014. I think it was in 2016 that he actually got out. A petition got so big, with so many names, with such a big voice, that everywhere that Governor Nixon was his name, everywhere he went, people asked him, what about Jeff? Have you made a decision? What about Jeff? And finally he had to make a decision. Now, if I can get everybody to understand how that worked and how that happened, and everybody wants their gun rights back, want the prisoners free, and we do the same thing, it'll happen. But I need everybody that believes that no one belongs in jail for weed and that it needs to be taken out of a narcotic class so we don't lose our firearms under federal law, to speak up and sign the petition. Oh, I got mascots. Now I got 8 new ones. No, my fur babies are my mascot. And other than that, I've got one in the front windshield, the back window on each side. And beside it, it says, everyone needs a little Jesus. That's my mascot. And as long as I have these on hand, I'll be handing them out when I meet people. One of my followers just sent me 30 more of them. Of course, I gotta buy. I don't have to, but I'm gonna buy a couple more cases before I hit the road. I love handing out my little mascots. Ain't that right, Lulu? That right? Look, I'm gonna snag another puppy. I snagged another puppy. Oh, just got white on its little paws. Oh, it's got colored paws. Yeah. Oh, aren't you cute? Aren't you cute? Aren't you cute? Oh, you're a girl. No wonder you're cute. You're going to be a girl. Oh. Well. Yeah. You're going to make a cute little girl. Yeah, you're going to make a cute little girl. Yes, you are. I bet you do. A lot of people do. I mean, I've had 2 people in the last 5 months that I've been handing them out. You know, I don't, you know, and that's cool if they don't believe or they don't like, whatever. I don't force nothing onto no one. But man, I handed out about 500 of them total. And to only come across 2 people that, you know, had something negative to say, that was pretty good. I used to just hide them all over town. And I'm in a little town, so it didn't take long for people to find out who was hiding them around town. Now people come by my RV and ask me if they can have one here or there. And of course I give them one. Oh, I firmly believe in myself. I believe in Yahweh and Yahshua and bye. Little jackapoo. Little jackapoo. I can't believe how quiet the babies have been. When she had 4 of them 3 years ago when I first got her, 2 years ago when I first got her, I didn't know she was pregnant when they gave her to me. They didn't either. Evidently, she got with one of the dogs there at the shop when they first got there, because a month and a half on the road or whatever, boom, I had 4 pups, or she did. And they were noisy. She's got 8 of them. And very, very, very little whining or crying out of all 8 of them. The time she had 4, they were a hell of a lot noisier. I guess she's keeping them all loved up. Hey, Mr. Will, what's up? Yo, yo, buddy. There's the proud mama. Howdy do. She's like, let me take care of my puppies. Huh? Her's a good girl. And let me take care of them little puppies. She's the best, Will. Oh, we're doing good. Me, I was kind of in a screwed up mood all day today. Didn't want to do shit. Normally, I get checked on the 1st and the 3rd. And the check on the 1st, day before yesterday, it posted like it was supposed to have. Usually like 4 days out, you can call. Like when I check my balance, 4 days before the next check's due, it'll tell you you have a balance of stuff, and then they tell you have a pending deposit. Well, my pending deposit for my first check, which pays my rent, um, is posted, and it posted three or 4 days ago, like it's supposed to. My second one that comes in on the third, it hasn't posted, so that's kind of got me a little concerned. You know what I mean? I got a letter. Matter of fact, I just got a letter from Social Security that I'm supposed to be getting it and everything. But I tried to call and check on it, and the lady's like, "Well, wait until the third, and if you don't get it, we'll have to reissue." Sounds like a big problem for nothing. Well, yeah, I'm hoping it will after midnight. Now, my first one will be here. It's already here at midnight tonight. I had planned on, well, at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'd planned on hitting order on a bunch of things that I wanted for the trip, auto parts, the figurines, and things I need to order to get here in the next few days. But now that's on hold until I find out. Now, if the other check posts tomorrow, I'll go ahead and order everything. It'd be about the same, time. Might have come a little early if I ordered it earlier, but if I find out in the morning everything's cool, it'll be all right. But if not, and you never know. That could be their way of getting people to call in to make sure that they're not, 420 jam. Maybe they think it's fake, even though I've been on it for a while. I don't know their excuses, All I know is on a normal time period and all, it should have posted. No later. Yesterday it should have posted. But we'll see. You're probably right. If not, then that's going to, determine on when I take off. If for some reason I'm not getting a second check, I can't do this. I can't take off this month. I'll have to take my first check and pay rent while I straighten everything out to try and leave next month. But I don't think that's going to happen. We just have to see what happens. I actually have until the left. The 11th. Doggone it. Ricky keeps... I don't see Ricky coming over here on YouTube like she should. I guess she forgets. She sent me a couple messages, but this ain't like Facebook. I can't message her and call her over, damn it. So did you do any work today, Will, or are you loafing? You still there, Mr. Will? Did your carpet come in, or have you started another job or anything? Lila. It's got to be hell for her to dodge around 8 pups not to squash them or nothing. To have to maneuver around them and let them feed on you and all. I feel for her. Huh. Well, I guess we lost Mr. Will. Lilu. It hasn't been that great of a day for some reason. I just don't feel up 100%. I think that's what it is. Yesterday I tried to get like a sore throat a little bit, and that went away. I've had an earache last couple of days before. That I think is going away or ready to go away. What's up, Lilu? Well, let's take another little walk outside, shall we? Just for the hell of it. I love the vehicle at night. Oi! Yay! And my chair out here. Ugh. She do look pretty. Well, I'll show you the... Ooh, I guess it's the moon. I reckon. Now it's shy. I zoomed in at it and it went away. Right on. Hey, there you go. Oh, shucks. Now I got a stiff neck on my right side. Oh, I can see it again. Now, as soon as I turned my camera towards the moon, it went behind the cloud again. I'll be damned. It don't want to be photoed tonight. That's twice I've seen a little clip of the moon. And as soon as I turn my camera towards it, it goes behind the cloud. Weird. Well, nobody got any questions tonight? Gonna be one of them nights, eh? I'm gonna go back inside in a minute. I've cooled off, and you never know when the cows are gonna come walking through. What's up? Looks like somebody else joined. Oh, well. Oh, let's head back inside. My LEDs switched on the RV to just red, blue, and green now. They had a better pattern earlier. One of the dogs must have hit the remote or something. Because I had them on auto. Get rid of that big ass bright light. And see if those will. Nope, wrong one. I guess that's not plugged in. I have LEDs in here, but I don't think they're plugged in. Matter of fact, I know they're not. So people always call on your line. That's okay. Hey, get to work, brother. Usually, especially if you can get work or anything. That's all I was asking. Did the carpet come in for that boat, or are you looking at another job? What's up? That's all I was asking there, Mr. Will. I figured you'd be back eventually. Either your phone died or someone called. You're not like Doug. Doug asks where the hell I'm at, and then he never comes back. Well, collect your money for cleaning all the old carpet up and off, for the prep work. It'd probably pick it soon though, because we're getting ready to go into the boat season. Oh, that's heck! I hope you get both of them, at least one. That'd be cool. I hope it's check post tomorrow so I don't have to worry about funds and fight, Yeah, but that paper I got today says that I was approved for, so long, so. And how much I'm supposed to be getting and all. So, I don't know. Probably worried over nothing. Hey, give me a minute to fill my soda bottle. I'll be right back. Well, I love this thing even more today. I don't know if you've seen these, Will, It's one of the coolest things to have. That is cool. Last night, I forgot, and I poured all the rest of my soda in here. And, of course, I didn't get over to the store until this afternoon to pick up any more. So after breakfast, I'd forgotten all about it, everything, and I got thirsty. And I'm like, and I went to the refrigerator and, oh shit, I poured the rest of the Coke into that thermos. I don't think I drank it all. I wonder if it, it's even cool at all. I opened this thing this morning, 11 o'clock this morning, and it was just as chilled as it was yesterday when I put it in it. I was amazed. I was amazed. Oh, hey, I hear you. Everything's no. I don't see how anybody makes it today, me included. Everything costs double. But you know what? There's supposed to be day after tomorrow. Is supposed to be. I don't know what Trump's got planned, but I heard it again today. And there's people trying to figure out what Trump's going to do because Trump said that he has a major announcement. He wanted to do it on the 1st, but everybody would think it was a joke. So he's going to do it on the 2nd. Hey, give me another minute. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I'll be right there. Sorry about that. I had a little mess to clean up. I wanted to clean it up before I stepped in it. Oh, heck, nobody's had the money to do nothing, Will. I mean, I understand what you're saying. No one's even thought about putting in new flooring and stuff, I'm sure. Maybe new places have to put, but I mean, the average person that would normally, they're going to make that floor last another couple of years. You know what I mean? I'm surprised you're getting to work on the boats and stuff. Yeah, but see, that's the game of life, my friend. That's the game of life, and thankfully we get a chance to catch up usually. I mean, look where my last 10 years have gotten me. Nowhere. Just absolutely nowhere. But got to meet a whole lot of people, talk to a whole lot of people, educate a lot of people, and it's not over until the fat lady sings. I think if we can get everybody to band together, we can get her done this time. Yeah, just be happy, level out. Just like I'd be happy to get this out of the class 2 narcotic and get they need to reset one time. Release all the cannabis prisoners. Nobody belongs in jail for weed. They don't. If they have another charge, okay. But if they're in there for weed alone, like Jeff Mazansky, and stuff, yeah, let them out. Every one of them. I don't care if they had 10 ton and sold it to the Pope or the Pope's son. Yeah, they don't need to be in jail for weed. Shit, all this corrupt shit that all these government officials and stuff is 100 times worse than the people in jail for pot. Oh, I'm surprised I didn't get more flack on that Tennessee post. Did you see? I don't know if I shared it or not. I think I did, because I made a comment on it. You know, what was it? Oh, the pothole tax. When they announced that the pothole tax thing didn't go through, I'm like, sure, that ain't going to go. You know, that was so stupid to try and put that in that. I mean, that's like a comedian move. That's like a stoner. That's like the kid that went in the courthouse and fired up a joint in the courtroom type stuff. You know? No. That gives stoners bad names. How the hell could y'all let people in Tennessee propose a pothole tax for potholes? Or pot tax for, you know, we want legal so we can fix our potholes. I mean, funny, yes. But that's been spread around the internet, what, 5-6 years now, about, oh, our state or our county, we should, you know, call the pothole tax and all. But I can't believe I read that someone actually tried to put that in legislation. and no surprise they voted that. Nothing that stupid is going to go through. Y'all got to get serious about it. They're going to think stoners are stupid. Hi. John. I had to look. I couldn't tell if that was an I or an O, because I got two little hands holding my phone. No shit. A friend of mine gave me I think it was Barb that gave this to me. The same lady that gave me my coffee cup. But it's like a pair of hands like this. The thumbs are up, but they're closed together, and it holds your phone. Well, thank you. Hey, remember, hit the like, the subscribe button would be cool. I want to build this channel up. I'm a cannabis advocate, for those who don't know. Nobody belongs in jail for weed. It don't cost anything to subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe. If you turn on the live notifications, you're going to like that here in another week or two, I promise you. Because if I get pulled over while out on the road or anything, you know, people try and bug me about where I'm parked for the day. Because, like I say, my vehicle gets a lot of attention. Now, it don't look like this no more. It looks, I'll show it to you in a minute. But that's how it looked in 2020. Well, I appreciate that. Anybody that signs it and shares it, I appreciate that. Because I tell people, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And yeah, the only part about me on that petition is I enjoy my gun rights. Good evening, David. How you doing, Mr. David? There's where you can find the petition. And screenshot that. If you can't do the screenshot or scan, you can always go to 420jim.com. Click on the petition button. Here's the new paint job. For those that hadn't seen the new paint job yet, it's got less than 200 tags on it now. I last weekend took it out and let people start tagging it. Well, thank you. Next week, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise, I'll be headed out. I'm going from Arizona to Topeka, Kansas. I may be out there for 420, and I've got some court business to take care of while I'm there. Yeah, I'm going to sue the city of Topeka, Kansas. After Topeka, I'll be headed to Florida, about mid-state, Tampa area. Oh, why am I suing them? Violation of civil rights. They violated my civil rights last year. Well, thank you, David. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, she's looking real good with the new paint job and everything. And I got these LEDs on Black Friday. And it'd be kind of hard to show that QR there with the flashing light. I got them on a Black Friday deal. They're really cool. They were really expensive. They were right at $100, but I got them for like 20 something. It was a Black Friday deal. And these are literally outdoor LEDs. They're encased in a plastic. They're not just like the regular LEDs. These have a plastic. That's a thick plastic. They're made to be outside. Oh, you can't have them on while you're driving. You can't have these on while you're driving. That'd be crazy to do, and you can't do that. No, but when I'm sitting on the side of the road, when they put me in the newspaper or the TV news, when I'm sitting on the side, parked, I have them on all the time. Yeah. Events, wherever. Yeah. Well, hey, trust me, they get attention. I mean, that's back in 2020. So, and you just Google my name, 420 Jim, and that's my legal name. Google my name, and you will find hundreds of stories on the internet. Know what new law in Oklahoma? But when I tell you my name's 420 Jim, I literally go up to officers and ask them to run my ID. First name 4, middle name 20, last name Jim. July 8th of 2019 in Kingston, Tennessee, the judge changed my name. No, John, what's the new law in Oklahoma? I know Texas is going backwards. They're trying to take away the THC products and stuff. So, who knows what Oklahoma's doing. But I've been all through Oklahoma. I sat at the dispensaries in Lawton, Oklahoma a few times. Bud's Creek, or not Bud's Creek, Bud's Ranch. Oh, if you identify as a furry in school, you're talking about if someone identifies as like a cat or a furry or something, they're going to send the animal control. Why not? Why not? It sounds good to me. There's a skit on TikTok that I love. And this is in California. And a cop pulls the two guys over. And they're starting to go south on him a little bit. And he's like, hey, I understand. And we can do it like this. Because the driver didn't have a license. He identified as a cat. And so the cop just, he turns it back on him and all. So, okay, that's cool and whatnot. We can handle it that way. But, I'm going to have to call animal control because, cats don't have license. And he told them a couple things. And they're like, oh shit, no, we don't want to go that way. We'll give you our license and be good. But it was cool. It was funny. He was going to call animal control for the driver, and his partner that was contemplating on whether he gave them an option of two things, and just the fact that the guy was thinking about it, and cops like, I'm going to call a mental health officer here, to help you, and this, that, and the other. Kind of funny. Well, my theory on that, people can identify as all they want. Just don't expect me to play games like that. Don't force none of that on me. If you want to pretend you're a cat and use a litter box in your house and your kids, fine. Just, you won't find one in my house. So either don't bring them over or convince them to use it, regular toilet stuff when they're, at other people's. But I mean, hey, I'm one of them people. Everybody should be able to do what they want as long as they're not hurting no one else. And forcing that stuff on someone else, it's kind of hurting them. That's like years back. Nobody really had a problem with gay people at all until they started forcing things to people. Now a lot of people like me, okay, you know why I don't respect the LBGQ, whatever they want to call that? Because they wanted to take our Creator's rainbow and turn it into their flag. That's the only thing I've got against that group whatsoever. Other than that, rock on, be what you want to be. The Lord loves you the whole 9 yards. But, yeah, to use the rainbow flag, no. I think that was the stupidest thing they could do, and they did that to mock the Creator. But that's just what I think. I don't know what curries are, so. I mean, heck, I love it. Look at my new flag that Ricky sent me. Salute to the military, the police departments, the fire departments, our nurses, EMS, dispatchers, and correction officers. You know what I mean? What did you have to look up? I'm sorry, I moved on to something else, so I don't know what you had to look up. I love it when people look stuff up and they find out for themselves. Oh, what's there to look up? I think it's like lesbian, gay, bisexual, something. I don't know. I mean, heck, my oldest granddaughter's gay. I have no problem with gay people. None whatsoever. I love my granddaughter. And as long as whoever she's with treats her, right, then I got no problem with that person either. Not my business. But when you want to take the flag of the Creator and make it the Creator a rainbow, nah, put a couple more colors, take a color out, do something. The only problem I have is with they're trying to throw it in God's face, I think. That's the way I would see it. I don't know what it's called. Each letter stands for something. I don't know. Like I say, I try not to pay no attention to it. And had they not adopted the rainbow flag as their flag, I probably wouldn't ever have comments on it or whatnot. Like I say, they should have been smart like back in the day and left all that stuff at home. When it started getting into schools and pushed to the children and stuff, a lot of people had enough. A lot of people's had enough. Ain't that right, Lulu? Mr. Will, you still here? Hey, nobody else got any questions? And enough, I don't know why you want to be on this LB whatever. It has nothing to do with this. This is nobody belongs in jail for weed. There you go. Okay, now we cleared that up. Did you know you lose the right to bear firearms in the United States of America? How we got there? Do you know Henry Ford built the hemp car made of hemp and ran on hemp? Or who named it marijuana? Well, hang on, which one didn't you know, my friend? Which one didn't you know? Hey, I need everybody to bear with me for 1 second, okay? It's going to put me on a pause or a standby for a second. I want to turn a hotspot on. And that way I'll be able to show, okay. I'm going to glitch off and glitch back on, probably within 15 seconds. And I'll be able to show you more of what I'm talking about. Hang on. Hey, sorry about that. But let's see if we got connection and we go from here. Yay. I think we got connection. Yes, Henry Ford built a hemp car made of hemp. The body was made of hemp. And the car ran on hemp. True story. 1 acre of marijuana, yeah, will make 300 gallons of burnable fuel. No shit. Let's see. Oh, I got it. We got it. Now let me come over here and I don't know if I've got it in history and stuff. Let me see. If I have it in the library, well, oh, if it's there, it ought to be coming up. I can always look it up too. Looks like I'm going to have to look it up. Oh, here we go. You ready for this?
Hemp fiber is an extremely strong fiber. Ford knew hemp could produce vast economic resources if widely cultivated. This car was also thousands of pounds lighter than steel cars were, and almost 10 times stronger than the steel cars.
You see that? Thousands of pounds lighter and 10 times stronger.
Also, it's a green, natural cycle fuel car. Unfortunate for us, and Ford, of course, the big corporations in power that be at the time, like the gasoline industries, cotton industries, oil industries, all lobbied extremely hard to drop the price of gas while also making hemp and alcohol illegal. They attacked hemp and were able to coincide with the prohibition of alcohol and hemp. This was basically a death sentence for Henry Ford and other companies that were just trying to use hemp in replace of other materials. Unfortunately, at this time, Henry Ford had to go on to relying on gas and steel for their cars. It is very unfortunate because Henry Ford was really trying to change the world with hemp. He really seemed to be ahead of his time. It is too bad that the other industries at this time were so afraid of competition and change. This could have helped the world a lot. Hemp can help save the world. Now, Luckily, hemp is legal and being used for well over 40,000 different products and different uses. Right now, even BMW has been using hemp for a few years now. They'll use them in their panels, especially their door panels. They use them because they are stronger, lighter, and more safe than metals and steels.
Bet you didn't know that. But hang on. I want to show you the original one. That's not the original one that I was looking for. Let's go over here and hit search. There we go. Henry Ford hemp car. Oh, here we go. This might be the...
As promised,
No.
I'm going to show you a little...
Oh, gone it. Let's see if this is the...
Having a vehicle is nearly an essential part of life. Why not find a more environmentally friendly option? Well, Henry Ford's first Model T car design was built from hemp, and it was running on hemp fuel. Ford grew this car from the soil up. His car was using hemp plastic panels and parts, which is actually 10 times stronger than steel on its impact strength. It makes you wonder, why aren't other car manufacturers using hemp? Henry Ford had just over 40,000 cars using hemp fuel and that were made from...
You hear that? 40,000 cars made and running on hemp fuel.
Hemp. This used only 10,000 acres of hemp to do. Even with planting all of this hemp, it actually helps our atmosphere as it pulls up to 4 times more carbon dioxide than trees do, which in return helps fertilize the soil.
Let me read the comments here. No, with hemp hemp's cheaper than steel and stronger, and hemp fuel is a lot cheaper than gasoline, and it comes back to the world as fertilizer instead of acid rain like gas does.
Soil that the hemp plant was grown on, as it gives nitrogen to the soil. This is something that we like to call a natural cycle fuel, releasing emissions and toxins into the air. In return, the hemp that's being grown will catch those toxins and emissions and carbon and actually turn it into nitrogen for the soil to be fertilized. Henry Ford had his Model T car made in 1941, and it had been running on hemp fuel while the body of the car was made from hemp, which includes its panels, sidings, and a few other little parts to the car. These panels are composed of 70% cellulose fiber, which made this extremely sturdy and flame resistant. They would even hit the trunk of the car with an axe to see.
Now, do that with any car built to this day. You see him smack it 3 times with that axe?
If it would leave any marks or do any damage. To everyone's surprise, it didn't at all. The hemp fiber is an extremely strong fiber. Ford knew hemp could produce vast economic resources if widely cultivated. This car was also thousands of pounds lighter than steel cars were and almost 10 times stronger than the steel cars. Also, it's a green...
See? Good old Henry Ford and his hemp car. Not too bad, huh? Told you I'd show you one. Just like Texas. Texas is going backwards. Texas should, if they hadn't agreed to do the thing with decriminalization, they would have already had it legal. Hey, I was talking about Jeff Mazansky, the guy got life without parole just a little bit ago. Will, are you still here? Have you seen the interview I did with Jeb Mazansky in 2017? I can't tell if Will's still here or not. But for those interested, Jeb Mazansky is the only guy in Missouri history to get life without parole. And it was for marijuana. And he did 20 years of it. And along the journey, I became friends with his family and everything. And anyhow, here's an interview of Jeb Mazansky. Maybe, maybe not. Oops. I don't know why it did that. Let's try this again. Hey, 420 Jim here. I'm with Jeff McKenzie. He's the gentleman that I learned about 4 years ago out of Missouri. They got life without parole for marijuana. And I'd like him to tell you a little bit about his situation and what he's doing.
How you doing? My name's Jeff Mazansky, and I've been out 2 years, September 1st. We got the governor to sign and change my sentence from a life without to a life sentence, so I'm not on parole now. But I'm involved with a new approach. We're getting signatures to legalize medical cannabis just for the state of Missouri.
Now here's a guy that not only got out on a petition, but when he got out, him and his friend, they organized with a couple of groups, and they got medical marijuana. And then, of course, now they've got recreational, I think. But when people say petitions don't work, bullshit. The only reason a petition will not work is because it don't have your name on it.
And we need your help. We need everybody out signing it. We need to get it done for our children, for our brothers or sisters. And while we're doing that, we also can't forget about the guys and girls that we left in prison that need to come out. So we need to get done.
See? You see that? I've been on the road since 2014 fighting for just what he said.
But our veterans are dying every day, and this can definitely help them. So we need to stop the suicides where it's legal in these states for at least medical, if not recreational, one or the other or both. Deaths from opiate goes down between 25 and 35%.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. And of course, everybody's seen pictures of the kids that are having seizures. A couple of drops and they're done.
Yeah.
I've talked to gentlemen that was sent home from the hospital to die. They did all the chemo and everything else. They told them there's nothing else we can do for you. Go home and get everything in order. You have about 2 months to live at the most. Well, that was 5 years ago. His son wouldn't give up and went to Colorado and illegally brought back some oils for him. Well, even though it was illegal, his dad now is cancer-free and living great.
That's why it needs to be legal throughout the country, not just here in Missouri like y'all are trying to move, but throughout the nation. And
well, I work across the nation. I'm involved with Project 22. I'm also involved with Lifers, the movie. We're working not just in the state of Missouri. I'm working across the whole United States.
Right on.
Been to about 10 different states now. Do a lot of speaking on it. And trying to get our prison system changed around and straightened out, as well as get this legal.
And you changed one major thing already here in Missouri, one of the laws that put them in prison for life or something?
There no longer can anybody be put in prison for life without drugs. It's under the 195 statute. That has been changed since I've been out of prison.
That's awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to say to anybody out there, or what you'd like to get done? Maybe they can fund you. Tell them how they can help your mission.
We've got GoFundMe is an account that we started to help New Approach. And you can go to New Approach.
There you go, folks. That's Jeff Mazansky. That was the guy I was telling you about that met his whole family when he was still in prison. And I taped their petition on the side of the RV and told people about it where they could sign it all the way to Washington, D.C. And every year after he got out of prison, when I'd come to, and we'd meet up, and it was really cool because he would do his petition alongside of me. I'd do my state one, and he federal one, and he'd do a state one. It was Jim. My first name was Jim. Here, I'm gonna put something on to tell you what my old name used to be. You ready for this? See, Texas is going backwards. Texas should have me come back through. But I got pissed off at Texas when I told them don't vote for decriminalizations, and they did. And that's why they went backwards. That's exactly why they went backwards. So this to tell you my old name, because this is back in 2018. Remember, I've been on the road since 2014. You know that thing, don't mess with Texas? I never heard that. Oh, nope, I'll take that back. That's the movie trailer. That wasn't the right one. That was a movie trailer. Here's the right one.
Breaking. This is KMAX News at 10. Determined someone had to do something about the cannabis laws that do it federally. I looked at myself in the mirror that morning and said, well, I'm that person, you know. And that person is bringing his message of legal marijuana to Lubbock tonight. Good evening, everybody. I'm Brian Martin.
I'm Lauren Motter. It is legal to smoke marijuana in 9 states now, and one man is driving across the country trying to convince the other 41. KMAX Faith Broso caught up with him on his stop in Lubbock. Jim Stevens has been on the road for half a decade spreading his message. He wants to destigmatize cannabis use and eventually have it become legal across the country. But state representatives said that's unlikely in the state of Texas. As drivers rush down 34th Street on their way home from work, they probably saw an unusual bus.
The most beneficial plant on earth, whether people smoke or not.
That's Jim Stevens, or 420 Jim.
How you doing?
He drives this cannabis around the country.
It's my statement in life. He's smoking cannabis.
He's been on the road for 5 years.
Yeah, I sold everything I had and I hit the road.
And hopes his tour across America convinces others of the benefits of cannabis use.
I'd rather my grandkids smoke a joint instead of a cigarette any day of the week.
Eventually hoping to convince the U.S. government.
Everybody just let them have a joint. What with that, world peace for 2 hours. I don't see the harm in that.
This is one of the idiots that don't want it. He's still fighting against it to this day.
State Senator Charles Perry believes that's unlikely, at least in the state of Texas.
Full more legalization of cannabis, not next session for sure. I don't, maybe before I leave, there's votes for it, but I don't see it in the cards.
But says legislatures talked about decriminalizing marijuana use.
So the decriminalization aspect continues to have momentum,
and that's why I pretty much give up on Texas, because they wanted to go to the decriminalization bullshit. And I knew that wasn't the answer. Here's another one from Texas.
ABC 7 News at 10. The Panhandle Spirit starts now.
One man is on a journey, traveling the country on a mission. You may have seen him in Amarillo today. You can't miss him, really. ABC 7's Jayla Washington.
I like that. Amarillo, Texas stated they can't miss me.
And joins us now live in studio with what he's up to. Jayla?
Well, Dave, for about 5 years now, Jim Stevens has been to 30 states advocating and collecting signatures for what he calls the most beneficial medicine on earth. What is this exactly? I'll let him tell you. Right here on Route 66 in Amarillo, you'll find Mr. Jim Stevens and his cannabis.
I am 420 Jim.
Stevens, an active advocate of cannabis, has traveled near and far to not only educate,
Peace, love, and cannabis.
but to fight to legalize it across all states since March of 2014.
And like Mr. King, I had a vision, a motorhome and a wheel. I grew up with the alcoholic mom and whatnot. I've seen what alcohol and opiates and coke and everything else does. You don't see that.
Yep. So I've been out here quite a while doing this, and this is my farewell and last hurrah. And hopefully people will, it's not about money. I mean, sure, if somebody wanted to help with a couple bucks fuel or something, cool, I'd accept it. I'd love it and I'd appreciate it. I put in $1,000 a month. But it's got to be done. The main thing I need you and your friends and everyone to do is sign the petition. And that don't cost a damn thing, except a couple minutes of your time. And you simply go to 420jim.com, 420jim.com, or Google 420jim. Petition will pull right up. Push the button that says petition. If you know a name, an address, and an email, it's that easy. No ID required, nothing. There's no magic number. The video I just showed you with Jeff Mazansky? I asked him how many did they get? And the petition has to get so big that all these reporters you see, at the White House, this, that, and the other, and whatever, you've got to get enough signatures on there that they're going to pick up on it. And at these news meetings and stuff, they're going to ask, hey, have you made a decision? Trump, Congress, whatever, have you made a decision? The people want to know. So you got to have enough signatures to get their attention. What is their attention? I don't know. But I'll tell you this. When the petition hits 10,000, if it hits 10,000, which it should before I leave Florida, I will pull permits to do a march in Washington, D.C. Now, 10,000 is not going to change it at all, We're going to have to get up there in the hundreds of thousands and stuff, People that want it done, we got to speak up. Put yourself in the president's shoes. Whether you like Trump or not, that don't matter. Let's say you're the president of the United States. You got all this shit going on to run, whatever it is, to take care of this, that, and the other. And nobody's really messing with you on the cannabis thing. Same old bullshit for 10 years. Same old normal group, same old stupid shit, that nobody's got nothing done. But nobody's put in a petition big enough or got their attention big enough. Trump says that he will do what the American people want. I challenge the people that don't like Trump, not only sign it, go to the comment after you sign. You can leave a comment. I mean, I hope people are respectful and nice, whether they support the president, Congress, or what. Still be respectful and nice. But in the comment, you can put, I'm only signing this to see if he is a man of his word, because he said he'd do what the people want. And if the trick's getting enough people to say this is what I want. And if you want to prove Trump, Congress, or any of them a liar, get on that petition. And same goes if you're a Trump supporter and whatnot. Well, you know damn well he'd do it if we get enough signatures. So I need you and all your buddies to get on it and leave a comment why you want it done. Because it's the most beneficial plan on earth, or the fact that you love Trump, or whatever you want to put. But see there, not only do you get to have your opinion on, hey, we want our prisoners out and we want our gun rights back, you get to actually leave a comment for anybody and everybody that reads the petition to see. I like going down reading the comments a lot. Well, I got one better than that. That's good. Not putting it down, John. That's good. That's good, but you know what this guy did? See? You'd have to know the whole story. What would push someone to this point, right? What would push someone to the point for me to do what I wanted to do? Is that a fair question? Here, let me show you something. They wanted to make a movie of my travels, Atlantic East Motion Pictures. This is back in 2018. They wanted to make a movie and release it by 2019 or 2020. Now, we never got the money up, but check out this trailer.
What would it take to push you over the edge? To sell everything you own but your RV, tell all your family and friends goodbye, and set out to fight for everyone's rights to cannabis and hemp.
Oh, and spoiler alert, this RV that you're looking at, out the windows and all, and the dog in the window, that is not me. I just sent them a story, this story and they come up with all the pictures and everything. Atlantic East Motion Pictures did all this, not me.
On March 1st of 2014, the fight began. I have traveled 30 states over the last 5 years, teaching out of the book of Jack Harrow, The Emperor Wears No Clothes. All commerce was carried by hemp and sales. On March 1st of 2014, the fight began. I have traveled 30 states over the last 5 years. Could it be that your mom, being an alcoholic, bounced around in the foster homes in Florida? Your mom being murdered on Christmas Day? Or your best friend standing next to you at your job driving a tow truck and was shot and killed? Being set up on 2 counts of sales of marijuana in Farmington, New Mexico.
Did you catch that one? Being set up on 2 counts of sales of marijuana in New Mexico. If you ask me to tell you that story after this, I will.
In 2015, I had a cannabis event at Mount Rushmore. In 2016, I did a march on D.C. It was in 2016 that I was invited to the 34th Vietnam Veterans Reunion held in Kokomo, Indiana at the Howard County Healing Field. I didn't understand why the vets wanted me to come, but I went. And when I got there, they explained to me that they can't fight for the rights to cannabis and hemp. As soon as they mention it, they end up losing their medication or their benefits. So I proudly represent the vets. I'm not a vet, I'm their voice. Along the journey, I lost my other cannabis, the first one, in a fire in Knoxville, Tennessee. But the Cannabis 2 was born a couple months later, and it was christened at the 35th Vietnam Veterans Reunion in Kokomo, Indiana. Now, along the way, I met lots and lots of many wonderful people, like Miles Walker.
I was diagnosed at 9 years old with Tourette syndrome. I'm 34 now.
He wrote the book Tourette's versus Everyone. There's a Purple Heart veteran, Jeremy Anderson. His story will be in it. Now, along the way, I also met the family of Jeff McKinsey.
How you doing? First, my name is Jeff Mazansky, and I've been out 2 years, September 1st. We got the governor to sign and change my sentence from a life without to a life sentence, so I'm not on parole now.
You're going to see a lot about good towns and bad towns that I've traveled through.
People come out and tell with law enforcement, I put them on audio and video.
Along the journey, I met a lot of wonderful and good cops, but there's also the bad cops. So along the journey, I give out the good cop attaboy or the bad cop no donut award. 30 states, 3 years on the road.
That's freaking awesome.
Thank you. I love wonderful officers, I really do. I've met a couple. Oh, so is you. I can't believe it. You're the first officer to give me a hug. Good cop, that lady.
Ah!
Shame we never got the money to do it, though. Well, thank you. Anyhow, I was arrested for 2 counts of sales of marijuana in Farmington, New Mexico. And I tried to take it to jury trial. Yeah, I wasn't going to let them screw me over. They used a snitch. They had the truck wired with cameras and stuff. Hey, hey, Green, how we doing? So they had the truck wired up with cameras and stuff, and the guy I thought was a friend that, you know, we smoked a joint a couple times out in the flea market with. He pulls up. He has a buddy in the truck. And he's, hey, man, can you get me a couple of grams of weed? And I'm like, sure. At first, he asked about meth, and I told him I don't mess with that, you know. And he said, how about a bud, you know? And I'm like, yeah, that I can help you with. And I called up my friend, and he brought over a couple of gram. And I took the 2 gram from his truck to the other truck, took the $30 and brought it back. I didn't get a sniff of the bud. I didn't taste the bud, you know. Nobody gave me any money or any. I was doing it to help a friend. And maybe a half dozen times a year someone would ever ask me to get, pot. Because you can pretty much get pot all the time out in New Mexico. But anyhow, he come back the next day wanting to know if I could get him a couple more grams during lunch. And of course they had tools and all kinds of stuff in the back of the truck. They played the part pretty good. I didn't think nothing about. A month earlier, I'd pissed off a deputy sheriff. I made a complaint about him. I went down over a traffic thing, and I went and assigned a complaint against him. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. So, like I say, I'd pissed this deputy sheriff off of something that had nothing to do with cannabis. But he worked with the sheriff's department there in New Mexico, and they had this drug task force. And so the second day they come by, and the same thing. My friend comes with 2 grams of pot. I take it to them, $30. I take it to them, and they drive off. Approximately a month later, I'm at the flea market because I was doing the flea market every weekend. I didn't really work there, but I had the keys to the bathroom and stuff. I helped out, and I rented space every weekend. So this one morning, Saturday morning, I had to go into town to pick something up that we had bought. I had this guy that was kind of like a partner, Jim Gooch, and I took his truck into town to pick this stuff up. Hang on, I gotta. All I see is message restricted, so don't let me say what it says. So I'm in town, and meanwhile, while I'm in town, I guess the marshals show up. Because when I get back, 45 minutes later, unload the truck and give Jim his keys. He's like, what are you helping the marshals with? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm not helping no marshals. And he said, yeah, the U.S. Marshals was here and said you was helping them with something. And that they was going to be back in a little bit. And I'm like, really? And he said, yeah, they even went in the office and talked to Miss Kathy. I'm like, wow, I said, Jim, I don't know why, but I'm going to jail today. And he's, what? And I said, well, if the U.S. Marshals come by here asking for me, they come here to arrest me because I'm not helping them do a damn thing. They're trying to find me for some reason. And he said, well, maybe, so I go into the office and, Miss Kathy, she's in her 70s, whatnot, really sweet lady, She said, what are you helping the marshals with? And I'm like, Miss Kathy, I'm not. I'm going to jail today for some reason. I have no idea why. But if the U.S. Marshals are looking for me, Gooch just said that they were here. You're telling me they were looking for me, and I'm not helping them do a damn thing. So they're here to arrest me. Well, what? I don't know. And I didn't. I had no idea whatsoever why the marshals were looking for me. None. Couldn't have a clue. But I knew I was going to go to jail. I didn't know why. I knew I was going. And probably about a half hour later, I'm sitting over there because my stand's right next to Gooch's stand. And hey, Houston, y'all need to fight. Y'all need me to come and fight for your stuff out there. But let me finish this story. Well, hell, I done almost forgot about it. Damn, I shouldn't have looked down there at the Houston thing. So anyhow, about a half hour goes by, and the pickup comes and pulls behind the market. We can see it coming towards the back parking area. And Gooch is, hey, there they are. And these two guys get out of their truck. They look like oil workers, and their truck looked like a, where they check out the oil derricks and stuff because they got all them gas pipelines and pumpers and stuff out there. It's a big thing in New Mexico. Pipeline workers. Anyhow, they come walking up, and I go walking towards them. I just put my hands in front like this. And sure enough, hey, Michelle, how you doing, young lady? Sure enough, he reaches in the back pocket, takes out a set of handcuffs, and tells me that they have a warrant for my arrest. And I'm like, what for? And they're like, we don't know. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? And they said, we were just asked to come pick you up and bring you down to the substation. Oh, I'm doing wonderful, and Mom and the pups are all resting and doing really, really, really good. Really good. So these marshals drive me to this police sheriff's substation, and we're sitting in like a conference area. And I can't swear to it, but I think it's the same deputy that I pissed off walks by, and he says, we got you 2 counts of cells of methamphetamine. And I'm like, you're an idiot. And he looks at me, and you ain't got no such damn thing. Yeah, we do. I bet you $100 we do. And I thought, get out of here. I'll bet you that, but you'll never pay me, but I'll make you that damn bet. And the marshals could tell I was getting a little agitated at him, and pretty much asked him to go ahead and move along unless he had some reason to be in that room. But I was not sweating it at that time. Evidently they had the wrong person, because I had never sold nobody no bad, never. So I knew that was all lies. So about another 15 minutes goes by, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And they're like, well, look, if you're not here in the next few minutes, we're going to go ahead and book you in, and they can talk to you, at the jail. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead and book my ass in, This is bullshit. What are y'all booking me on? And about that time, their phone rings, and they tell them they're going to be there in 5 minutes. They were there, but they were, doing whatever. And the marshals tell me, hey, the guys who want to talk to you, they're here. We want to tell you so don't surprise you. They're going to come in, and they're going to have their heads covered to secure their identity and stuff. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And no sooner than they came in and the one guy sat down, I pretty much said, dude, you can take your hood off. You're the guy in the red pickup truck. I know exactly who you are. And they straightened everything out and said that it was 2 counts of cells of marijuana that they had me on. And they did. They did. They had me dead or right. I didn't know at the time, but they had cameras in the truck, microphone, everything. And then, of course, I got to read the deposition and everything, for the trial and all that. But they're telling me that if I snitch 3 people, it goes away. And I'm like, snitch that? They're like, what's that? And I told them, it's a feather because you ain't worth a full bird. Go ahead and book me. And they did. And I was booked into the Farmington jail there for 2 counts of sales of marijuana. And I was facing 5 years on each count. And I bailed out that night. The next day, I got to be in my first court thing where I meet a public defender, a few minutes before court. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Some never been into nothing like that. But usually your first appearance, you meet your public defender just minutes before the first appearance and all. And that's just basically to say not guilty, blah, blah, whatever. Your first appearance. So, right before the judge calls my name, one of the public pretenders called my name, and I go talk to him. And I asked him a couple questions. I said, you took an oath to become a public defender that says you will represent me zealously, right? And he kind of looked at me like, wow, you read the oath. Because they use the word zealously in it. And that's how I know. And he said, yeah. And I said, that's cool. And I said, also, the state must prove all points of their case. Correct? And he said, yeah. And I said, that's cool. The only job is not guilty. We want to take it to a jury trial. And I want them to bring in a chemist and declare what narcotic is in marijuana. And I want to bring in a chemist and declare that there's no such thing in marijuana. And let's find out. Because I know in my heart and soul, there is, and I know if people are into the plants chemistry now, there has never been a narcotic in cannabis and hemp. Now, the government puts one in it, yeah. But just naturally grown back in the day and all that, no, never been. Just because they say there's a narcotic don't make it true. And he's, oh, yeah, that sounds good, yeah. Well, when the judge calls your name, step on up and we get you started through the process. And I'm like, okay. 5 minutes later, whatever, and the judge calls my name. He's already up there, just steps over towards the podium. I step through you're actually boarding a ship. We're all under maritime law. The Constitution, all that's been, when you had the birth certificate sold over under British rule, you're actually going aboard a ship when you go past that doorway and all. Anyhow, I go across the threshold. I'm standing there with my public pretender, and I can call him that. And if anybody wants to give me any flack about him, I tell them the story. So we proceed to go up in front of the judge for the first time. And he asked the attorney, says, you charge, how do you plead? How does your client plead? And he says, Your Honor, I'd like to recuse myself from this case. I'm like, wow, kind of a surprise to me. He didn't say nothing to me about he didn't want to represent me or anything. He acted like everything was cool. And the judge didn't even really ask him why. But me personally, if somebody don't want to represent me, I wouldn't want them to represent me. You know what I mean? So the judge tells him, granted. And he looks back at me and says, hang on. Well, hang on. You're gonna love this story. You're gonna love this story. It gets good. It gets better. So the judge lets him not be my attorney and tells me I must go down to the public defender's office and get another attorney. So I go down to public defenders, I sign in and this, that, and the other, and they give me my second attorney. And I meet with him. Same thing as the first. You represent all points of the case, blah, 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 jury trial. Same thing I did with the other guy. Just the next day, and down at the public defender's office, in this public pretender's office. Same exact thing. Oh, yeah, no problem, no problem. Yep. Gotcha. We'll see you in court tomorrow. Cool. Go to court. The guy comes when my name gets called up. And this guy starts talking about drug court and stuff like that. Drug probation. And I looked up, hey, Your Honor, who is this guy? And he says, it's your attorney. And I'm like, no. The guy I talked to yesterday at the public defender's office definitely wasn't this guy. He's saying opposite of anything that I said. I want this to go to trial. Ain't no drug court or nothing. What the judge he says, so you don't want this attorney? And I'm like, no, Your Honor. Heck no, I don't want this attorney. And he said, well, you have the right to fire your attorney, but you will now have to go back and get another one. Okay, no problem. Meanwhile, I went to a couple of private attorneys, and I found one. His name was Eric Marlowe, but he wanted $5,000, and he said that for $5,000 he guaranteed me, I wouldn't be facing a felony and wouldn't do no jail time. But I didn't have $5,000. So anyhow, now I go back to see my third public pretender, but they tried to fool me. They called and told me that my new attorney was such and such, Cosmo Repo. That was my third attorney. And they gave me an address that wasn't the public defender's office. It was a private lawyer's office. What I didn't know is he was a public pretender, but he was also a private attorney. But he still was a public defender. So they made me think that they had sent me to a private attorney pretty much. They didn't say that, but they made me think that. So that little voice in my head, which a lot of times we don't listen to, we probably should, it told me to turn my phone on record before I go in that office. True story. Just that thought out of the blue, whatever. And I was glad I paid attention to it, because I went to my phone and turned on the voice record and everything. I just put it in my pocket. Heck, it wasn't 5 minutes later. I did that when they called me when we first walked in. I wasn't in there sitting 5 minutes, so there's like 4 or 5 minutes of gibberish, talking in the waiting room and all, when Cosmo Repo calls me back to his office. Please sit down. I sat down, and boy, he lit into me. He lit into me. He said, you pissed someone off. You're going to do DOC. I found out later that meant Department of Corrections. He said, I ain't calling witnesses. I'm not calling evidence. I'll see you in court. Get out of my office. Maybe not word for word, but pretty much damn near verbatim like that. Oh, I was excited, but of course I held that best I could. Yes, sir, no problem. I get out that door, and man, I couldn't wait to see that if I had that recorded. And sure enough, little Angel had been there. So we go directly home. Well, we went to Walmart and bought some DVDs to burn, the blanks. And I burnt half a dozen of them. And I took one, and I went back down to the public defender's office that I've been fighting with for 2 weeks now. And I signed it again, and I said, look, you got 5 minutes to tell me what y'all want to do. And I put the DVD, or CD-ROM, whatever you want to call it, in the hole where you do, to sit in your little tray. Man, it wasn't but like 2 minutes, and the back door comes open where the person comes out of, and it was the head of Public Pretenders. I tried for 3 weeks to just have a conversation with that guy. Never there, wouldn't talk to me or nothing. All of a sudden, he comes out in the lobby, and he's like, Mr. Ford, we got a problem. And I'm like, you got a mouse in your pocket? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't have a problem. You said we have a problem. So I figured you had a mouse in your pocket or something. And he says, no. He says, we've got to hire you private counsel. And I'm like, well, I thought that's what yesterday was, Mr. Repo, the guy you sent me to. And he's, no, he works for the public defender. That's when I found out he worked for the public defender's office and everything. And out of the blue, a little voice just told my mouth to ask him, do you have Eric Marlowe? And he replied back, I don't know who we have. My office will call you tomorrow and let you know who your attorney is. And you will have to make an appointment with that attorney. That's all this office can have to do with you. We cannot represent you. The pool is tainted. It's out of our hands. And I'm like, okay, cool. I get a call right before 5 o'clock, a couple hours later. And the lady says, Mr. Poor, your new attorney is Eric Marlowe. We want you to call him as soon as you can to set up an appointment with him. I'm like, damn, I kid you not. So I did. I called, and when I met him, he's like, hey, and I'm like, hey, and he didn't care. He didn't care who paid him, But it was all divine. This whole mission's been by the good Lord above. It really has been. I didn't know it in the beginning or nothing. I learned it as I went along. That's who that voice was and everything. It really was. I just didn't know it at the time. So he says, what do you want to do? And I said, well, just like I told you when you wanted $5,000, I want to take it all the way to trial. I want them to prove what narcotic is in marijuana. And he's, yeah, okay, no problem. We'll set her up for jury trial, not see tomorrow in court, We get her set up. And I'm like, cool. Well, he calls me the very next day. He was going to get set up court. We weren't supposed to have court the next day. He called me the next day. And that's when he should have told me, when the next court date was. And he says, hey, Port, let me talk to you about something and do me a favor. Don't explode or nothing until you hear everything. That don't help when you tell people that. That just kind of makes them wait for it. That's not only putting the gun there, it's pulling the trigger back, And evidently, after I left his office, he got a hold of the prosecutor. The other team went over and told him what I wanted to do. And they come up with this. Because he told me, he says, they want to basically, I forget how he started out, whatnot, but it was very quick to when he pretty much said they wanted to do a psychiatric evaluation on me to see if I was competent enough to stand trial. And that's when I like, dude, what the hell are you talking about, because I had a court case suing an insurance company over the same thing, kind of. It's what started everything. Someone running in the back of a pickup truck that I was in. That started everything. Anyhow, I was handling that case pro se in the courts on my own. I've beaten every traffic ticket or any case I've had, so for Albuquerque to say they wanted to do a competency hearing on me was crazy. And I went off a little bit on the attorney, and he said, well, man, you seem passionate about what you're talking about, this marijuana thing. And I'd like you to think about it for a minute, because it's a get out of jail free card for a year. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Get out of jail free card for a year. And he says, well, let's say they find you incompetent. And if you went out and stole something at a Walmart or something, and you got caught, you'll get arrested, but as soon as you see the judge, he's going to kick you free. But if you trip or punch or hurt somebody, any violence whatsoever, you're going to be held. And I'm, really? And he says, yeah, unless it involves violence, you can only, do someone's compensate once a year. So if they found me incompetent, they're kind of stuck with that. And as long as I don't do nothing violent, I could do all kinds of things, and I'd pretty much get away with it. And I did end up getting away with $8,000 and getting my $10,000 lawsuit after all this. So I ended up $1,800 ahead. But sure enough, I told him, he said, dude, just think about it. And I'm like, after hearing that, I'm like, okay. The next day I called him up, and I'm like, look, Mr. Marlowe, you said for $5,000 you'd get me out of this. I trust you. And, the good Lord tells me to just, if y'all want to go this way, I'm game. If you think it's not going to hurt me or anything, I'm game. I'll do whatever you tell me or think that we should do. And they set it up. And I went, and I don't know, I spent 2 hours at least with this psychiatrist guy. And all kinds of tests and things, they ink blots, puzzle, all kinds of things they do. And in the conclusion, he drawled the fact that I smoke pot so I don't kill people. And it says that right on some of the court papers. Now, of course, they say that I said that. I didn't say that. But through everything, he concluded that I smoke pot so I don't kill people. I got to agree with that. And they found me incompetent to stand trial. What can I say? I scraped off all the decals, or most of the decals on my first RV. I put some crosses and pot leaves on it. And I've been on the road ever since, fighting to get our cannabis prisoners out of jail. Federal legals, it needs to be federally legal for everybody. We need to get it out of the class of a narcotic so we get our gun rights back. Huh. John, I don't know what that is. One looks like a little photo of this, and the other one looks like 3 photos of that, and a play button. I don't even know how you make comment like that. Oh, goodness sakes. But hey, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. It is getting time for me to get out of here. Hell, it's been 2 hours. It's been a fun 2 hours, but I need to eat. Oh, your YouTube was loading. Ah. That's the first time I ever seen something like that, so I didn't know. Well, my friends, I started this new YouTube thing since Facebook don't save their lives after 30 days no more. And I like to save them. I've got them all the way, well, used to have them all the way back, but now Facebook is deleting them. There's not much you can do. So I'm moving them over here. When I get pulled over, hopefully it don't happen a lot, but you never know. You see the vehicle I drive, I get profiled, whatever. But I always go live. So if you subscribe to the channel, which is absolutely free, hit the live notification. Now, if it's noon or 7, that's regular. I try to do a noon and a 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time every day. Noon and 7 p.m. Other than that, if it shows up, then it may be something important. Like the other day, I did a quick one when my dog had her puppies. But I think I did that one on Facebook, really, because everybody on Facebook was watching for it. I'll give y'all one last look at the puppies here before I get out of here. There's Mama and puppies. That's about one of the best mama dogs you can have right there. Yep, I gotta go myself. I was just getting ready to get out of here. Thank you for joining in. Please make sure everybody signs that petition. It's not about me, it's about them. Peace, love, and cannabis for all. One team, one dream, united we stand, and if we try, folks, we can all get along. My dogs, Lilu and Jack, love you, and our puppies. I love you, and Jesus loves you. Have a good night. See y'all tomorrow at noon.